What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are back with some more Monday NBA. I almost said Monday Night Football. We do have some Monday Night Football coming up tonight as well. The first video I'm posting right now is going to be NBA. I may end up doing an NFL video as well. If I don't have an NFL video posted up before 11 a.m. Eastern time, then I'm probably not going to be doing one. So it'll probably just be one video if that happens. But I'm not sure what I want to do yet. If I don't post a Monday Night Football video, there will be a free Monday Night Football slip in our Discord down below. So if you're not in our Discord, the Discord's free to join. Click the link down in the description, and I'll have a free slip posted in there. So let's talk about yesterday, guys. Yesterday was a horrible day for me in the sports betting world because your boy just, slip after slip after slip missed due to either some type of blowout or a hook or just something just going completely wrong. So yesterday was not a good day. NBA at the end last night kind of brought some of it back, but it wasn't enough to recover the full day. I definitely lost money yesterday, so it is very unfortunate, but that's part of it. That's how it goes. You got to be able to manage those days with the good days, and that's the only way you're ever going to stay profitable because you are not going to come in here and cash every single slip every single day. Every day is not going to be green. Just remember that if you're new to this and if this is something that you're trying to do full-time, because it's never going to be it's always going to be a roller coaster. Let's just put it that way. But before we do anything, guys, I am going to pick a winner from Saturday's video to win a free month of our VIP. So if this video gets 250 likes, I will pick a random comment down below to win a free month of our VIP. So drop a comment, leave a like, and you do have to be subscribed to win. So let's go ahead and pick our winner from yesterday. And I don't know why this website's all screwed up. My internet's been fine. So it's J-Railed, tail or fail. J-Railed, send me a message on. Look how terrible this looks. J-Railed, send me a message on Discord, man. I'll get you added for that free month of VIP. Appreciate the love and support from everybody. I'm going to hit refresh to see if it maybe fixes it. Yeah, it don't. This website, I don't know if it's the website or my internet. I know I didn't post a video yesterday due to my internet being trash. It's been good this morning. Like, everything is loaded perfectly except this website. And I don't know if this is from my internet or if it's just the site in general, but everything else has been fine. If you guys do want to join our WAP, links down in the description. You get every single play that I post, every single play, or a list of plays that I like will be posted in there as well. So if you don't want to play the same slips I'm playing, you can just have a list of the props and build your own slips. Have a lot of people do that, and I have a lot of people make a lot of money from just different pairings than I have. Sometimes my pairings will be off, and you can mix and match them yourself if you want. One other thing before we go into these picks, I wanted to show or give a shout out to our esports team. Esports team has been freaking dominating, man. I'm going to show some of the wins that they got the last couple of days because they deserve a shout out because esports chat's usually dead, and they've kind of started posting a little bit more now, and I'm telling you right now, esports has like blown up over the last couple of days or last couple of weeks or so because they've been killing it so much. And this is just the last 2 days, I believe, or this is from yesterday, man. All three of these are from yesterday. They hit another six-man last night as well. 75 for 750 right here. They hit a six-man. Somebody won $950 off of a $25 slip. 150 for 900, 100 for 600. Like, these boys are feasting right now in esports. So, just want to throw that out there. If you're an esports guy, got a great esports team in here as well. We'd love to have you guys a part of the server. But anyways, enough rambling and talking. Your boy's getting a little bit sick. I'm not going to lie. Woke up with a sore throat, struggling a little bit to talk. My ears are dang popped, so I can't you know, when you're driving through the mountains, if you've ever been to the mountains, and your ears pop, and, you know, you just can't hear anything, and it doesn't matter if you yawns, they say to, gulp real hard, and that'll, get rid of it. It ain't working, man. I can't barely hear out of either of my ears, so I can't hear how loud I am either, so bear with me a little bit on that. But let's go ahead and jump into these NBA games, guys. So, first NBA game that I want to talk about is going to be the Cavs versus the Pistons. So, both of these teams are on a back-to-back. There are a lot of teams on a back-to-back today. We'll talk about those. I'm only going to go over the games that I think are pretty high-scoring, so I'm not going to touch the Magic versus the Sixers or some of these other games, especially some of these games with teams on back-to-backs and the scores total looks low. It's just not the way that I like to play these. You can play these. You can go talk. You could play props from those games all you want. I'm not saying don't play props. I just prefer to target these higher scoring games. That way if I want to play like rebounds and assists, things like that, you have way more opportunities to cash. But Cavs Pistons, total right now sitting at 231.5. Detroit is plus 2.5 underdogs, plus 133 at home versus the Cavs. Yes, both teams are on back-to-backs, like I said. Looking at the money on this right now, 62% of the money is on the Cavs to win, 74% of the money on them to cover the spread. Then the total, looking at this game, looking at 87% of the money on the over. I'm looking at these two teams. Both teams are 2-1. Both teams on a two win streak, losing their opening game of the season. Cavs ended up losing versus the Knicks. Then the Pistons lost versus the Bulls, and both games were very, very close. Both of these teams played a very close game yesterday, so both teams are on tired legs. This is one of those games where it's very hard to know who you should take on these back-to-backs just because. Let me give you an example. Right now, they have Donovan Mitchell on parlay play right now, 2.5 3-pointers made for a 1.44x boost. These boosted plays are usually pretty good, but this week they have been terrible on parlay play, or the weekend they have anyway. These boosts have been missing, and it's kind of frustrating me a little bit because my pairs have been cashing about every single time, and then the boost just misses. So I'm going to start playing these parlay play boosts at least for the rest of the beginning of the season until these NBA players get kind of warmed up and used to it. I'm been playing these a little bit slighter than I normally would. Like, for example, I'm not touching Donovan Mitchell. 2.5 3-pointers made, even though he's always good for 3 threes. On back-to-back, tired legs, after playing a tough game, I'm probably not going to touch 3-pointers made. So I'm just giving an example there. My pick to win this game, I took the Pistons the other day as an underdog, and they ended up winning like plus 200 odds versus Houston, I think so it was. But this game, I'm running with the Cavs, man. Cavs on the road. I think Cavs are still – Pistons look good. I'm not saying a way better team or anything. It's going to be a close game in my opinion, but I got the Cavs taking the dub here. I'll probably just take them minus 133. I probably wouldn't touch the spread. I'll just take this just in case it is a 1 or 2 point game. But total, I'd probably fade the total on this one. I'm probably just going to run Cavs money line if I were to take anything from this game. So skipping over this game, we're going to skip over the Nets versus the Rockets, another low-scoring game. The Celtics versus the Pelicans. I like this game for props. Total on this game sitting at 232.5. Pelicans are minus 122 favorites at home, which is crazy seeing the Pelicans as a favorite ever. Pelicans minus 2.5 favorites. Right now, 81% of the money is on the Celtics, 97% of the money on the Celtics covering a plus 2.5 spread, and then 58% of the money on the over on this total. Looking at these two teams, Celtics 0-3. Just got beat by Detroit, got beat by the Knicks the game before that, and then got beat by Philly in their opening game by 1 point. If you look at the Pelicans 0-2. They just lost to the Spurs back on the 24th, and they just got beat by the Grizzlies in game 1. Now, the Celtics are on a back-to-back. They lost to the Pistons last night, like we said. Very close game, lost by 6 points. It was good hard-fought effort from the Celtics. I think Jaylen Brown had almost 40 points that game. So Celtics going to be on tired legs as well. Pelicans looking fresh. Lineup's not that bad for the Pelicans, to be honest with you, man. Murphy, Jones, Williamson, Messi, and Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's been playing pretty well since he's been for the Pelicans. So I don't want to say Pelicans are gonna win, but I think they don't win very often, man. I think this could be a game they come out here and win versus the Celtics, especially when all this money is on the Celtics. That's another reason for this. This could be a trap. Both teams fresh. I would usually lean to Celtics even without Tatum, but I think the Pelicans have a chance here tonight. Minus 122 favorites with the majority of the money on the Celtics. I would probably just lean Pelicans. I think this is a place where you can probably get a little bit of value, especially when everybody is on the Celtics. So you could probably wait a little bit, and if the money keeps falling on the Celtics, this number might come down. You might be able to get better value than it right now, but minus 122 is not that bad. I'll probably run Pelicans just to sprinkle a little bit, just because of the back-to-back. If Pelicans get blown out, don't come out here and you said the Pelicans are going to win. I'm telling you right now, just based off the way the money's looking, based off of back-to-back for the Celtics, and based off of the Pelicans haven't played that bad. These games have been pretty close. I would give the Pelicans a shot in this game at home. So that's just my opinion. But anyways, I think that's a good game for props. I think there's a lot of props you can get on here that would be pretty well. And I definitely would target this one if you're looking for some props. The one I target the most, one of my favorite games on the slate right now, this is the Hawks versus the Bulls. Total in this game is sitting at 241.5. Chicago is underdogs plus 110 odds, almost even odds. Pretty much a 50-50 split here, plus 1.5 for Chicago. Public betting, 89% of the money on the Hawks, 96% of the money on the Hawks covering the spread, then 98% of the money on the total going over. Now, I agree with the Hawks winning, in my opinion, but the total at 241.5, 98% of the money on the over is kind of sketchy to me. Like, yeah, these are two fast-paced teams that don't play a super good defense. They usually give up a lot of stats, a lot of points. But 242 is still a pretty dang high total. I mean, it has to be over 120 points for each team for just a cash, or a blowout win for a team that scores 130 or something. Definitely can happen, but it's a lot of money on the over, man. That's all I'm saying. So for me, I'll fade that over. I wouldn't take the over on it just because there's so much money on the line there. I'd probably just sprinkle a little bit on the under if I was going to do anything for the total. But I do think that Atlanta does get the dub here tonight. Atlanta played back on the 25th versus OKC, lost 117-100, so they kind of got smashed in that game. They did beat the Magic the game before, and then lost the opener to Toronto, where I had the Raptors in that game plus 200 odds, so it was a nice little plus 200 win we got there. If you look at Chicago has 2 wins in a row, man. Beat Detroit, and then they beat the Magic. Beat the Magic by 12 points in the last game. Chicago has not looked bad. Now, Josh Giddey is game time decision. I think Josh Giddey is going to play. Before I put any money on a money line on this, I would pay attention to who plays and who doesn't. If Josh Giddey sits and then everybody plays for the Hawks, this number is going to change. And you can get, if you want to play Chicago, you can definitely get a better odds. Now, if you want to play Atlanta, then that scenario happening is going to give you worse odds in Atlanta. So you really have to trust your gut on this one. I think Giddey's going to play. We'll see. I'm pretty sure he was game time decision the last game. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure Giddey's going to play, so I think we're good there. Obviously, they're missing Kobe White, missing Zach Collins as well. If you look at Atlanta's side of things, man, Jalen Johnson, Porzingis, our boy Zach, all 3 of them are game time decision, and I don't know what's going to go there. Porzingis for illness. I could see Porzingis sitting. If Porzingis gets ruled out, then you never know, man. So you got to pay attention to these injury news. Maybe if you want to play a money line on this one, wait till we get some more injury news out. For me, I'd probably just target more of the Bulls players over the Hawks players, unless you think they all play. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Like, I like Vucevic. I like taking a chance on Giddey. If Giddey doesn't play, it's just a reboot anyway. But Vucevic is another. I know I've played him twice so far out of the 2 games they played. I played Vucevic in both. I like him in this one as well, man. Vuce has been looking pretty good this season for the beginning of the season. It's a good matchup for him. And if Giddey doesn't play, then obviously it's going to be more usage for him and Vuce. So I think that's a great game to look at. If you're wanting to target some player props, because it is going to be a very, very fast-paced game. This Toronto Raptors Spurs game, both teams on a back-to-back. It's got a high total. This is a good game for player props, in my opinion. I lean Spurs at home, Raptors plus 190. Let's take a look at how close these games were yesterday. So looking at Dallas versus the Raptors, Raptors got beat by 10 in Dallas versus Dallas, 139-129. Dallas couldn't miss a shot. I mean, Toronto still scored 130 points and got beat by 10. So very, very high-scoring game. It's not like Toronto played bad. They just couldn't get a stop. On the other side of things, Spurs coming off of a win, beat the Nets last night, 118-107. Injury news, not much injury news we got to look at. Obviously, Spurs still missing Fox. Linnet game time decision. Nothing different compared to how the game started yesterday. Both teams on back-to-backs, like I said, we'll say that one more time. I'm going to reiterate that. Teams on tired legs typically aren't going to be as fast-paced, and some of the shots may not fall the way that you think they will. So if somebody comes out here and goes 1 for 10 field goal attempts, just remember that's a big reason for it. So I like a lot of props from this game. I think that is going to be another high-scoring game, and I think you can get some value here on this one. All right, guys, I had to pause the video. Your boy is struggling to talk right now. My throat's starting to give out on me. So what I'm going to do, man, I'm going to tell you the 3 games. I'm not going to go over any more of these games other than, just tell you the games I think are good to target. I like the Jazz versus the Suns. I think this is a very, very good game for props if you want to look at that, especially on the Utah side of things, in my opinion. I like the Grizzlies versus Golden State game. This is the last game that I like. I think this is going to be very, very good for props, almost a 240 total. So, not going to pick winners for these games, just giving you guys some insights on if you want to make your own player props. Those are some good games to target. I'm not saying like Nuggets versus Timberwolves is not a good game, or Portland versus Lakers is not a good game. Both these teams on a back-to-back. Lakers are missing a lot. Reeves is probably going to be good for this one. But just throwing it out there, man. Those are the games I like. If you want to target them, go for it. Let's jump into some player props, and let's lock in some slips live on the video. Before we do that, if you guys do want to get a free month of our VIP, you can sign up for any partnered app down below. The ones I'm recommended right now, Chalkboard, Sleeper, and Parlay Play. Those are three of the apps I use the most. Obviously, you got Underdog. Underdog is a great platform as well. If you use Prizepicks, majority of you have Prizepicks. But any of the apps down below, you can get a free month. You can get up to 7 full months for free. But let's go ahead and jump in to these plays of the day. So first play that I like on this slate is going to be, one of my favorite goblins, and I'm just going to go ahead and lock it in. It's going to be around Aaron Gordon. So I like Aaron Gordon from, obviously, the Nuggets. It's actually one of my plays of the day. Like this a lot. I like him to go over 11.5 points. So let's talk about this line. 16.5 is his original line. You can get him at 11.5. This line should be good. He's cashed it both games this season so far. He had a 50 bomb versus Golden State. Dude came out there and killed it. He had 17 his last game versus Phoenix. They are playing versus Minnesota. Now, one of the biggest things about this Minnesota defense, top 5 defense in terms of points allowed. To the power forward, it's around 11th. The one guarding Gordon is most likely Julius Randle. Randle is not a defender, man. I'm telling you right now, dude is lazy on defense. He was lazy when he played for Kentucky. I'm a Kentucky fan, so I know all about these players that come into the NBA. Julius Randle's not a good defender. I'm expecting Aaron Gordon to feast on him. I expect 12 points to be very, very low if you want to take his original line at 16.5. I don't even think that's a bad line. Aaron Gordon cashed this line 41 of 65 games last season, head-to-head versus Minnesota. He cashed it all 3 games versus Minnesota last year. 30 points in 2 of those games, 13-1. So that one game he didn't do very well. He only played 24 minutes. Remember that. The minutes in this game matter a lot. They got beat by 30. It was a blowout loss. So, of course, he's not going to come back in the fourth quarter on that one, or potential where he could have got 5 to 10 more points. So remember that, probably not 10 points, but 3 to 5 more points at least. So, anyways, remember that. Head-to-head so far on this season, he's averaging 32 minutes per game. He had 25 his last game versus Phoenix. It was a blowout win. They won by 22, and he still had 17 points in that game. Now, this is a game that's probably not going to be a blowout. I'm pretty sure the T-Wolves played last night. Let me confirm that 100%. Yes, because Ant-Man got injured. Yes, yes, 100%. T-Wolves on a back-to-back at home versus Nuggets. I don't think it's going to be a blowout still. Line up here, you have to look at Ant-Man. Ant-Man's game time decision. I wouldn't be surprised if Ant-Man did not play. He played 3 minutes last night, so that makes it a little bit tougher, obviously. I hope the game stays close. They have a pretty good lineup, even without Edwards. The lineup's not bad. They just got to have somebody step it up. Randall might step it up. Who knows? But we'll see. I like Aaron Gordon in this matchup. I think he's going to be able to get us at least 12 points for sure, and I'll be locking him in. We actually locked him in already, but let's pull him up right now. Aaron Gordon over here on Parlay Play. 11.5. I honestly don't mind him at 14.5. I'm probably going to play him at 14.5 on here, and we'll lock him in with something else real quick. But let's take a look at the second prop before we do that. And I always forget to do this. I always forget to pull up Props Madness. So what I want to do is show the scoring chart for this game. So you can just click a team. For example, is Minnesota not on here? Oh, there it is. Wolves versus Nuggets. Scroll down here. We find Aaron Gordon. You can look at the shot chart. He's got a yellow and orange matchup everywhere. He does shoot 44% from, and actually 60% from behind the line, behind the arc. Corner threes, they have the 13th ranked defense. Regular three-pointers, 10th ranked defense. A tough matchup overall on the threes. He does shoot another 40% of his shots from the paint down under the rim, where he has a yellow matchup. Overall, matchup doesn't look bad. Not great with the orange threes here, but it's Aaron Gordon, man. He lays these threes out. He starts having to getting hot on the shots, and we're good to go on that 12 points for sure. And it's 14.5, so another line that I like. So I'll be playing that as well. But Aaron Gordon, second pick of the day. We're going to go ahead and talk about the Vucevic play because I've already told you guys I like Vucevic. I think Vucevic is going to be a good play to hear tonight, especially if something happens and Giddey doesn't play. I personally think Giddey plays. I'm just going to throw it out there again. 3 props I like for Vucevic, and I'm going to let you guys choose between. And of course, now is going to be the time where this doesn't load. And if this continues to happen, I'm gonna lose my mind. If I have to pause this video and wait 30 minutes before I can finish the video, I'm gonna lose my mind. I promise. And AT&T will get it. I will call them again. Well, guys, I'm gonna pause this video, and I'll be right back when I get this fixed. All right, guys, so it's been about 10 minutes, and it still is not working. I can hit refresh as many times as I want on here, and Outlier does not load. For some reason, props. Are you freaking kidding me? Disregard the last 10 seconds of me talking. Of course it loads now. All right, so now it works. For whatever reason, Three props I like for Vucevic. You guys can play the ones you want. I like his points and rebounds. I like his points line. And I like his PRA line. Those are the three lines that I like. His assist line is sitting at 3.5. So let me give you an example on PRA and something you should always look at when you're playing players like this. Vucevic is a high assisting center. His assist line sits at 3.5 right now. His PRA line is 35.5. It's 34.5 actually on most platforms. So 34.5 is what I'm going to roll with. If you subtract the assist line from this PRA line, you end up with 31. So if points and rebounds is less than 31, you would have better value on points and rebounds. You can do the same thing when you use alt lines. For example, I'm going to pull Vucevic up real quick. And if I were to take his points and rebounds line, so you can buy down his PRA line to 29.5, and you can get his points, rebounds, his PR line to 24.5 for about the same payout. So if you add 3.5 to this puts you at what, 28? So 28 versus 29.5 for almost the same payout. You got a little bit better payout on PRA. Vucevic has not been hitting that assist line so far this season, so it might be a better, if you're choosing between these 29.5 or 24.5 points and rebounds, it might be better to go for points and rebounds before going for the PRA, just depending. And I do those like calculations before I decide what I want to play. I'm not the best at explaining it, but let's talk about that. So let's talk about assists. Assists head-to-head matchup versus Atlanta. Last season, he averaged right at 2.75 assists versus the Hawks. So Vucevic is a high assisting center. Like I said, he's only got the first two games this season so far, and Vucevic has some pretty decent games. So for me, I'm going to set a fade assist. I'm going to look more towards the PR line. Now, 29.5 PRA is a good line. Do not get me wrong on that. The payout's it's going to be like a 1.84x if you play these two together. If you play 29.5 points and rebounds, you got a 2.3x. So points and rebounds is another good play at 29.5. I don't dislike that. Vucevic can always get 14 rebounds and 20 points pretty easy. I mean, he really can. So that's definitely some potential there for Vooch. Vooch at 17.5 points. I like that line as well for a 1.5x. You can play that. Vooch has been scoring a lot of points. If Giddey sits out, he's obviously going to score even more points. Atlanta's defense isn't terrible to the center position. We can come over here and look points and rebounds, go to the center position. They allow 15th in the league in points, which is middle of the pack, bottom 10 in terms of rebounds allowed. So tough matchup there. So we go to points, go to 17.5. Vooch cashed it one of his two games this season. He had 28 in his first game versus Detroit, and he had 15 versus Atlanta. Head-to-head last season, he cashed his 3 of his 4 games last season versus the Hawks, and he's going against a team that gives up around 18 points per game. If we were to click Vucevic here, you can see he's got a pretty tough matchup. Vucevic shoots 41% of his shots from behind the arc, going against the second-ranked three-point defense from where Vucevic scores from. He also shoots another 43% from in the paint and down under the rim, where he has an easy matchup under the rim, a bottom 10 matchup in the paint. And then he shoots 16% mid-range, where he has a around the middle of the pack. So overall, matchup's not horrible. Vooch just has to hit his shots from the three-point line. The three-point defense sometimes doesn't scare me too much, but majority of what I'm looking at is here under the goal, where Vooch has a pretty decent matchup there. So you can pick the one you want. We'll find some value here, and we'll lock it in live. I don't know that I want to pair Vucevic with Aaron Gordon, so we're just going to leave a prop sitting here, and then we'll lock in the slips later. But anyways, jumping into pick number 3 of the day, the one that I like is going to be for our man, Walker Kessler. So I'm taking Kessler from the Utah Jazz going against the Suns tonight. He is playing at home. Kessler has looked good last couple seasons. Now, Jazz have been struggling with some injuries for a while. Last season, they were missing a lot of players. Lauri Markkanen was out a lot. Keontae George was out a lot. They got Kyle Filipowski now. Kessler has been looking good, especially the first 2 games this season. Now, he only had 3 points his last game. He played 29 minutes. He had 9 rebounds and 2 assists. So he had 11 RA. First game, he had 13 RA with 22 points. If we look at Phoenix's center position stats, one of the worst defenses in the league in every category to the center position. Give up 29th in the league in points, 27th in the league in rebounds, and 24th in assists. We'll come over here to this Jazz game. Okay, of course it does that to me. Go to this Jazz game, and then we're going to look at the matchup here. So Walker Kessler, 17% of his shots, middle 3, 16% from the corner, going against the number 1 defense in terms of corner threes allowed. He shoots another 67% under the rim and in the paint. Bottom 10 defense in both of those. Great matchup here under the rim. This is perfect for Kessler. I expect Kessler to have a good game. His PRA line sits at 23.5. He is another high assisting center. You can look at his assist line. If I can find it. Assists. So assist line sitting at 1.5. Now this might be his goblin. I'm pretty sure it's actually at 2. But he cashed out both lines as well. Let's pull Kessler up. Let's see what his assist line really is. 1.5 might be good. 1.45x for Kessler to get 2 assists. Huh. Now, he cashed it 47% last season, but he's cashed it every game this season. He's got a full, healthy team. He has a lot of talent he can pass to get the assists. So 2 assists really isn't bad. I might end up locking that play in as well, honestly. But I do like his PRA a lot. I think Kessler has I think he gets a decent amount of points tonight, and 23.5 is pretty good. 1.2x for 19.5. This ends up giving us a 1.78x at 23.5. It does become a 2.5x. So we'll play around with the slip. Kessler is my second pick for both assists or PRA. You can pick the one you want. You can get his points at like 10.5. You can play it at 9.5. I think Kessler gives us 10 points. Let's check the data on 9.5 points. Obviously, he missed it his last game. He had 3 points. Last season, he cashed it 57% of games, and he cashed it every single game versus Phoenix. He averaged 12.3 field goal attempts versus Phoenix last season. He's averaging 4 attempts this season. So he doesn't shoot a lot of shot volume, which is one of the things. He had a lot of free throws in that first game, which is why he had 22 points, and then he ended up shooting 1 or 2 threes and hit 2 threes. So you do have to remember that. Kessler's points line is not going to get a ton of volume, especially with a full healthy team, but he is here, and he's been playing well. So I like Kessler maybe for assists more than PRA. We'll see. I might end up playing his assists. I'm gonna hover assists here, but I do like his PRA as well. I may end up playing both. But anyways, Walker Kessler's pick number 3. Final pick of the day that I'm running is going to be our man Jimmy Butler. This is the boost on parlay play that I like the most. They have Jimmy Butler. You can come up here, go to promos. Well, we'll just hit NBA actually. Scroll down here. Jimmy Butler at 17.5 points is a 1.44x payout. Butler has been feasting pretty much this season on this 17.5 line, which we've played twice already, and he's cashed us both times. Now, Butler did chalk this line in one of his 3 games so far. He missed it his last game. He had 14 versus Portland. Blowout loss. He only played 26 minutes. So they got beat by 20 points that game, 139 to 119. They are playing versus the Grizzlies. This is a great matchup for Butler. If you look at the Grizzlies, have almost a bottom 5 defense in terms of points per allowed. If you go to points allowed, if you go to their small forward position, they give up more points than any other team in the league. 25 points per game to the small forward, 12th in the league to the power forward. So decent matchup for our man Butler. Head to head, he had 38 and 27 points last season versus the Grizzlies in both games. And I expect to have another good game this season. He's averaging 12.3 field goal attempts per game, shooting 43% on the season. Last season, he averaged 15.5 and shot 61%. So I like Butler for this. It's a discounted line, obviously. I think he cashes us out, and there's not much more to say about Jimmy Butler. We can take a look at his matchup here. Grizzlies, Warriors, Jimmy Butler. And you can see he got a very, very good matchup here. I know there's some orange here. That's only 11% of his shots. 3-point looks good. 57% of his shots under the rim against the bottom 10 defense under the rim. And then he shoots 6% in the paint. So got a good matchup overall. Butler at 17.5 points is one of my favorite plays. So let's go ahead and pull Vucevic up. And we're going to make these 2 slips live and lock them in. So we got Vooch pulled up here. Let's see here. If we played all 4 of them together, you got a 5x, $250 will win us $1,232. And honestly, this is a pretty dang good slip to me. I'm not going to play it that way, but I do like this slip. So what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to play Aaron Gordon with Kessler and then Butler with Vooch. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's put these here. Aaron Gordon, let's see the payout, 1.4, 1.45, then it's about the same. Yeah, so it just depends on which ones, if you like the pairings enough. I'm going to run Kessler 2 assists, and then Butler, Vucevic, figure out for Vooch what we want to play. So we can get Vucevic at 29.5 PRA, and this is a 1.84, or we can play Vucevic at his PR line, and we'll see how much the line changes at 24.5 PR. 1.73. So, yeah, the payout's a little bit worse if you play the points and rebounds instead. It's got to be a 1.75x. So, unfortunately, we can't make that work. If we added a third pick, we can probably get a double up here, and it wouldn't be that bad. Or we can just play Vooch at, like, the 17.5 points. I like the points and rebounds, though, because Vooch can get a lot of rebounds. He really can. We need about 10 boards from Vooch to make it worth it, at least. What's his rebound line at? His rebound line is sitting at around 10.5. So, yeah, we need about 10 boards from Vooch. I'm I might just run his PRA at 29.5 and just play this. I think that's what I'm going to do just because I don't want to add a third pick. I mean, we could legitimately take a player that we like a lot and just, like, for example, Trae Young, put him at like 6 assists and go back to Vooch. If Trae Young doesn't get 6 assists, then I'd be like, I think that would be pretty crazy. But you can play these together and still get that 1.8x. So maybe I do that. It's actually 7 assists for Trae Young. I'm playing Trae Young on his parlay play boost as well. That's the other one that I'm going to play. I'm only going to play those two unless they have some more. But Trae Young, 8.5 assists, catched it 8 of his last 10. He only catched it 1 of 3 games on the season, but he hit this 77% of games last season. Head-to-head versus the Chicago, I mean, crazy good assist line. Like, 8.5 is very low for Trae. They give up more assists than almost any other team in the league. It's going to be a fast-paced game. It's going to be a lot of opportunities for our man Trae as long as his team plays. So that's really what I was looking at. 7 assists, obviously even lower. Let's see. Can you get it lower than 6.5? You can get him at 5.5 and still get that 1.7. That allows us to play it. I might just do that and just keep this, just so I can actually play this slip and keep it as low as possible. It's going to be a little bit less payout, which I'm cool with, but I think that's pretty safe. I mean, it obviously could chalk. As long as Butler cashes, I think we're good. But I'm going to play that. I'm going to do it. That's the way I'm going to roll with this one. If you don't like it, just do what you want with it. But I got Kessler and Aaron Gordon in the slip. We got Vucevic points and rebounds with the Butler points, and then obviously we added Trae Young 5.5 assists, which is barely anything going to pay out. He should give us 6 assists. I like that line is so very low. We can pull that up and go. We can go back to Trae real quick. His assists, and let's see how often he hit 5.5 last season. It was a 96% hit rate. I mean, look at this. He cashed it about every game. He cashed it 2 of 3 this season. He had 5 the first game versus the Raptors. But anyways, I like this play a lot. I think you should cash it. You can take Trae Young at 8.5 assists too as a parlay play boost if you want to play that as well. I think that lineup's good too because I think majority of their players are going to play. But that's what I got for today, guys. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Hope you guys cash every single slip. Join our Discord if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all in the next video.